sex without erection is a very wonderful kind of sex, a very enriching addition to your sex life. So I feel the need to make you aware of this potential because most people don't know about this kind of sex at all. Or when they hear about it, they often misunderstand what it actually is. So in this video, I will explain what sex without erection actually is. Almost certainly not what you think it is. What it brings you, why it is so enriching, why you want to learn it, when you would have it, what is the place of it in your sex life, and how it can make your whole sex life work better. Now, just to be clear, it's not going to be a detailed tutorial on the techniques for sex without erection, although I will outline how you practice it. This video is to explain to you what this kind of sex actually is and what is the potential there. So it's not actually some kind of a failed sex when you can't get it up and you're just managing. It's actually a slightly more advanced sexual practice, but it is still very accessible and easy for anybody to learn. It's a sexual practice from what we would now call tantric sexuality, not in any religious terms, nothing to do with tantra. We are just talking about a further range of sexual practices which are more sensitive, more attuned to sexual energy, a richer, more holistic sexual practice. And I personally teach sex without erection as a sexual practice without any spiritual affiliation. Sex without erection used to be more well known in tantric sexuality. Sadly, it has now been largely forgotten. Now, please note from the outset that having sex without erection is not about replacing your sex with erection. This is an expansion, an addition, another kind of sex to add to your sex life. So what sex without erection is not, is having the same typical friction sex, moving back and forth, but with a soft penis. You'll get nothing out of that. It's a completely different kind of experience. We penetrate with a soft penis. Yes, it is possible, although many people are immediately surprised. So the penetration would have to go with, particular positions. It's not possible in just any position. The positions that allow us to be physically relaxed, because that's very important, but also allow us to keep the soft penis inside the vagina. Once penetrated, we create a connection inside the vagina. It's a combination of nice, relaxed presence, tuning in really well into the energy there. Secondly, physical relaxation inside the body, opening that space in the body, the genital space and the whole space. That's important for perception and expansion of that energy, and emotional connection through the genitals as a sexual technique. So we have soft genitals. The penis is soft, but the vagina is also soft, not stretched or intensely stimulated. The soft genitals, they just have a different sensitivity. They feel differently. They obviously will not feel the same kind of intense sensation that you would feel in sex with erection, but they do feel a different kind of sexual sensation. It's a lot more subtle and soft, but it has its own beautiful and enriching quality. And also, there is something beyond sensation. When soft genitals connect, there is a sense of certain energy that radiates between them and grows and expands into your body. So in terms of the actual physical interaction that creates that, we can use some minor movement inside the vagina, both by the penis, but also importantly by the vagina, by the woman. And these minor movements will create more subtle, very clear sexual sensations in that attuned space. Or we can even not move at all and just feel how that energy grows. There is a magnetic aliveness between the genitals in that stillness, and it expands. Now, I want to underline that this is not just about the physical movement. No sex is about that, and you should be coming out of that mentality. But sex without erection in particular doesn't work on just physical movement. Your physical interaction is combined with relaxed presence, being there, tuning in, listening, physically relaxed space, and intense emotional connection through the genitals with each other. And that's how sexual energy in sex without erection works. Our genitals in the soft state can be feeling a different kind of sexual sensation, sexual energy, which we don't feel in sex with erection. We couldn't feel it when the genitals are hard, and vice versa. So what do we get from sex without erection? Why do we have it? I will come to some more practical applications in a minute. But what is that experience giving you? The sexual energy that you will feel in your body is quite gentle and subtle. And sometimes it's not even sexual energy. When you become more sensitive, it's almost like just energy that you perceive. And even though it is not intense, it has a wonderful quality. It can feel like happiness and blissfulness spreading through you, expanding through you. And if you just go onto a different wavelength in your mindset, that sex is not all about intensity. Then this kind of sex can feel really pleasurable and wonderful and blissful. And sex without erection is a practice. When you do it more, it makes your genitals more sensitive, and then you can feel more and more, even at that soft level. Now, the curious thing that I have discovered working with this kind of sex over many years and teaching it is that despite being a gentle experience, it may seem like you don't do much, but afterwards you might feel surprisingly nourished, revitalized, and alive. Sometimes even more so than in sex with erection, fundamentally different. In sex with erection, there is this intense firing of your nervous system. Sometimes it makes you buzz afterwards, sometimes you feel a bit washed out. Without erection, we have a completely different state of physiology and the nervous system. You are in this very open and relaxed parasympathetic state, and it's almost like this positive energy in this relaxed environment goes somewhere into deep well-being, cleansing and recharging us. It's hard to describe. You can feel very interesting states of aliveness and the flow of your energy in life after this kind of sex, different from sex with erection. An obvious question people might have: how do you orgasm? You don't. This kind of sex is not for that. Have sex with erection for that. This sex is within the concept of saturating with sexual energy, and you won't feel that you need to come because you're in a totally different space and your body is in a totally different state. And apart from this gentle, blissful, wonderful sexual energy, sex without erection is a deeply loving experience. When you practice it with the relevant physical and emotional techniques, sometimes it feels even more deeply loving than sex with erection. And you're also in a state of really deep connection. There are things that you can experience in sex without erection on that level that you can never access in sex with erection. And in sex without erection, we can even cross over into experiences that we could call genuinely spiritual experiences in sex. If you're interested in this kind of thing, it's not for everybody. This happens when you go deeper and deeper into this practice. Your attunement to that energy, the deep connection you are creating, this can take you into those dimensions. And this is why it saddens me that practices like this have been forgotten in what we now call tantric sexuality a lot of the time, all about long orgasms and lasting for hours, a performative enhancement to mainstream sex. Sex without erection is actually a slightly more advanced sexual practice. All practices that are more minimal, more relaxed, are advanced sexual practices. Because we are too used to doing something mechanical and performative and going for something intense, so learning sex without erection takes a change in a mindset, getting some ability to relax, to really tune in and feel your sexual energy. Perfectly learnable, perfectly achievable for anybody, just not as simple as sticking it in and moving back and forth. I have a whole module on sex without erection in my online course Holistic Sex for those who are interested, because there I teach it properly how it needs to be taught, and I teach it closer to the end of the course, because as an experienced teacher I'm well aware that I first need to develop your abilities. Generally, sex is a practice that develops, grows through the right stages. It's not a tip to use here and there, and that needs to be learned in the right process to work. So what are the applications of sex without erection? When do we actually use it? And how it can improve your whole sex life? Well, first, it is a nice experience in itself, without any further practicality. You have another variety of sex. It gives you a very wonderful, blissful, gentle sexual energy to enjoy. It's invigorating, recharging, nourishing, and it's very loving and deeply connecting. I repeat, you are not replacing your sex with erection. It's just an addition. But it also gives a range of practical solutions. People are in different states on different days. Sometimes your sexual energy is higher, sometimes it is lower. Instead of being stressed and forcing yourself into intense physiology, if your sexual energy is lower today or it is less responsive, you can have a recharging kind of lovemaking without erection. So it creates more opportunities for you to have your sexual connection more often. So I recommend to have sex without erection organically. If the energy is high today and you get an erection, then you just have your normal sex with erection. If today erection is not happening, you don't need to push yourself. You can let go and have wonderful sex without erection. So then you will have a natural spread of sex with erection and without in your overall sex life. Sex without erection also helps men to regenerate their sexual energy, to increase potency. Another thing that happens sometimes is that the erection goes during sex, and then people try hard to keep it up, which makes very functional, disconnected sex. But this is a natural response from your body, that your body has had enough of this intensity. Your body is saying, that's it. ejaculate now or let's stop, I'm done. So then you can let erection go and continue sex without erection in a different kind of restorative energy. Then you recharge and regain erection and continue. In fact, this makes a really great cycle during the same sex session. And you can do that changeover a few times. And at each phase, your sensitivity and pleasure is actually increasing. So there are many uses. It's just a very rich and potent area in your sex life to open your mind to and to enjoy.